Hey, it's MK with Off the Board. Today I will be scrap lifting this sketch right here. Of course, I'm going to ungirly it. And I picked out a few items that A, were sitting on my desk, and B, are brand new to everything else that was sitting on my desk. I started off with the navy thickers. I did go ahead and put out my title. Blah. I also have these gold puffy stickers by Rosie Studios. I can't remember the name of the collection though. I went to my Cricut and definitely cut out some images that were a little bit related to bow hunting. So I created these leaves and then found some random arrows and targets as well that were just images that I already had on my Cricut. They either were free or they were purchased. Now this one here, I actually kept the inner bits because I feel like I can use that as a target as well. And then have 3 targets on my layout, which I think is pretty cool. I pulled my colors from my photos, and then I have this Minte paper by Urban Jungle, and I've been dying to cut up these hexagons. And I also pulled out a close to my heart page. It's just a very faint wood grain that is from the Mix-In collection. I don't know how to describe the Close to My Heart mix-ins anymore. This one just says May to June because their stuff only lasts 2 months. So it's really, really hard for me to say, hey, go check out this paper when it might not be there anymore. Anyways, I'm going to take a few seconds to actually cut out some of these hexagons. And it does take me a little bit to try and figure out the design that I want because clearly I don't want it to just go up. I want it to be an interesting effect. And then I also want to cut out one so that way I create my L shape just like in the sketch. Now my circle piece, instead of cutting my photos, which I have a really hard time cutting my photos into shapes, you guys, I really do like all of my photos to be squares or rectangles, in all honesty. So I decided to use this ginormous target as my circle bit, and then I'm going to back the other targets with just a white circle that I took my punch and punched some circles for. I didn't cut those on the Cricut. It's just faster to grab a punch. Now this one here will have a hole in it, but later I do figure out how to cover that up and make it look good. All right, so for going across the page, instead of the little strips of paper, I want the wood grain little hexagons as well as my arrows. I thought that would be a good change up to just strips of paper. Blah, spit it out. I also went ahead and used a Close to My Heart cardstock, which is double-sided on the other side. I've got a light green and a dark green. So I went ahead and I flipped a couple of my feathers so that way I had the different colors because that's what I have in my arrows as well. Ha! It was a smart little afterthought, but I'm glad it worked out. I also have another arrow that just has the tip and the, I don't know what they're called, the little fins, feathers at the end. I used to know the name of them, but I don't remember. So I do need to get my little piece out for that one, but that's later. First, I need to decide whether or not I like this because it's been a really long time since I've created a Cricut heavy or a die cut heavy page. And I used to do this all the time, but now for some reason it looks awkward. It just doesn't have that right feel to it. And so I'm trying to decide whether or not I really like it. All right, well, when I don't know what to do or I kind of get stuck, I go to what I know I want done. All right, so that's kind of something that I've always done, which will be to matte my photos. I did decide not to matte my target. At first I was going to, and then I thought, no, I kind of like it not matted because then it looks a lot like our target board from, on this picture that I'm matting right now. All right, so I took out all of the yuckies of me actually matting the photos and stuff. That's just so boring. It's just me measuring twice and cutting once and then gluing the photo to the mat. Boring. And then I'm going to go ahead and just use my ATG to tape down the hexagons. And I didn't do a very good job. Like I didn't tape from edge to edge to edge to edge because of the fact that I might want to tuck. Well, I don't end up tucking, but I might. And so I just went ahead and left it there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put all of the things back on. I'm using this smaller target as kind of like a way to hide things. that I have tucked in, so that way the feathers don't have to be so far tucked in that they kind of get lost. So I go ahead and use the target to help me tuck, but then I can pull out and still have hidden the ends of my feathers. So I kind of like that as well. Using some more of these labels that I have from my Not Just for Boys Kit Club No Waste packaging. I do love these, and they do happen to be sitting in a little bowl of little things that I've collected throughout this entire month. And I've just been continuously digging in this bowl to add things to my layouts. And I love going back and seeing all the different ways that I've used up the stuff. So I really like it. I know it's kind of boring, but I like it, even though I am using layouts from several different years of my albums, because I go through and I just flip the pages looking for photos that I haven't scrapbooked yet and what I'm in the mood to do, or kind of roughly have an idea of what I already have on my desk. And so that's when I know, oh, I can do this photo because I already have half of the stuff pulled out, and then I just need to go and get this. To be honest, it took me about an hour to get all of the supplies for this layout right here, because I had to go into the Cricut Design Studio and pull out, or is it Design Space? I think it's Design Space, and pull out the images that I wanted. And of course, you know, making up my marbles on that is kind of rough. And then I also, you know, the sizes, what size do I want it all? How do I know it's going to fit? All that stuff. So yeah, and then of course colors. Did I want to paint? Did I want to cut everything white? Or did I want to cut things in color? And so clearly you could see the decisions that I made, but honestly, I wasn't sure, and it took a long time. All right, I'm finally going to put a bow or a shaft to my little arrow. I didn't cut it off from the Cricut, which I could have. It actually probably would have made it easier. But what I was thinking I was going to do when I first designed these images, I didn't make the images. I took them from my Cricut and then I manipulate them as I think I'm going to use them. That's basically how it works. And when I first started manipulating this one here, I thought I was going to do something a little different for the shaft. And instead, I just ended up cutting a scrap piece of cardstock. Yep. All right. So to cover up that little hole in my third target, I go ahead and I just use a label, and I have it slightly off of the page so that way it looks like I did this on purpose. Now I know that this is not part of the layout at all, or the sketch at all, but I did enjoy seeing something up here because it does give me that blank space, even though it's supposed to be up there. I have an issue with blank space. It's kind of like, you know, a phobia that I have. I don't like leaving it blank, even though I do have a lot of blank space, but I do like having something up there to where it doesn't look so blank. It's kind of like an echo. In an empty room, you have an echo, but once you start putting things in it, the echo goes away, and then you stop as soon as it's fully gone. That's kind of how like this is. Making stuff up as I go. I went ahead and I used a Q upside down for my word, or for the word shot. And now I'm just trying to figure out where I want this last little label, because why not? I don't want to waste it, and I don't want to keep it hanging around. I also have these cork stars that I have tried to put on several other layouts, and I think that they're finally going to make it onto this layout. I really do like how they kind of look, especially filling in the labels that I really don't have anything to say about this. These are two different pictures of the same shootout, but one of them is a target of my husband's cluster, and then the other one is a photo of how close he actually got to arrows to where he fletchings. Ha! That's what they're called, is fletchings. He actually shot one of his arrows through a fletching, and as the arrow twists, it actually took that fletching and twisted it into place. And so, of course, we had to document that. But there's not a whole lot to say. And then, of course, I did decide to take some Black Dylusions spray ink and splatter that all over my layout. And now I feel like the echo is gone. My blank space has been filled, and I absolutely love how this layout turned out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am sorry that this is going up a little late, but I actually worked so far ahead that I forgot a day. Ha! That's my issue. Okay, be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along down below, and I will see you guys all later. Thanks. Bye.